British Columbia.
Would the Reach for the Top team members representing British Columbia identify themselves?
I'm from Cam High in Kamloops. My name is Tony Ryan.
Hello, I'm James Ward.
My name is Steve Reese.
I'm Claudia Heinrich.
And would the Reach for the Top team members representing Prince Edward Island identify themselves?
We're representing Charlottetown Rural High School, Charlottetown P.E.I. I'm Kevin Weisner.
Hello, I'm Gordon Stewart.
Hello, I'm Mario DiPercio.
Hi, I'm Katie Palmer.
Newfoundland, the 1981 Reach for the Top National Playoffs. During the next half hour, 8 of these outstanding students representing 2 provinces compete in their quest for the National Reach for the Top Championship. And now, from the Corner Brook Arts and Culture Center, here is your Newfoundland host, David McDonald.
Thank you very much, and welcome to Newfoundland. The city of Corner Brook is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year, and we're very pleased to have all the Reach for the Top contestants here with us to help us celebrate. Of course, they came to play as well, and play they shall. We'll start in just a few seconds. Let's introduce the judges on Reach for the Top. From Winnipeg, Bernie Millman. And from Toronto, Paul Russell. And now, a warm Newfoundland welcome for our quizmaster. Here's Bill Getz.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we're in for more excitement today. This is Game 3 in our 12-game series in the Reach for the Top National Playoffs, and we have 2 more provincial champions challenging one another today, British Columbia and Prince Edward Island. Now, we've seen some very close action in the previous games, and I think we're going to have another close and exciting contest this time. You want to get down to business right now? Okay, let's start with these short snappers. 10 points each. Here is the first. Who was the English general who defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo? Who was that, Gordon?
Wellington.
That's correct. What is the name of the river that flows through Paris? Anyone, please? Gordon.
Seine.
Yes. What is the name of the stand on which a mariner's compass is installed? Yes, Tony?
Sextant?
No, it's not called that. What is it? Do you know, please, Katie?
Sextant?
It's called a binnacle. In Greek mythology, who was the god of war? Who was that, Gordon? That won't do it. British Columbia, do you know who it is, Jim?
Ares?
That's correct, yes. From whom did Muhammad Ali win the first heavyweight? Go ahead, Tony.
Sonny Liston.
That's right, the first heavyweight boxing championship. That's right. Here's another open question now. All of the questions you're about to be given have answers that begin with the 15th letter of the alphabet. Okay, here's the first. She was the sister of Augustus and the wife of Mark Antony. What was her name, Jim?
Octavia.
You have it right. He was the chief god of Norse mythology, the god of, yes, Tony.
Odin?
Yes, the god of wisdom, war, and poetry. That's what, right. In the year 1803, it became the 17th U.S. state. Which one was it, Gordon?
Ohio.
That's right. It was the code name for the plan put into effect on D-Day. Yes, Tony?
Overlord?
That's right, yes. Devised by General Eisenhower. Another god, this one was Egyptian this time, the ancient god of the underworld. Who's that, Steve?
Osiris.
You have it right. A good answer, yes. The brother of Isis, yes. All right. Here's a question now that takes us into the field of music. We want the names of these French composers whose music you're about to hear. They're all French, remember. I'll give you a clue if you'd care to wait. Here's the music, first of all. Try it, Claudia. Yes, Maurice Ravel is right. Yes, that was his bolero. You didn't need a clue for that one. All right, teams, the next piece of music. Whose composition? The composer of this suite is famous for his opera based on a gypsy theme. Is that clue of any help? Try it, Steve.
Bizet.
That's right. Georges Bizet is right. Yes, good for you. Okay. Now, listen carefully to this music. We want the composer. Yes, Steve?
Eric Satie.
You were right, Steve Reese. Good answer. Very good indeed, yes. And finally, whose creation is this one? Listen, please. Here's the clue. This is the Swan from the suite The Carnival of the Animals. Who was the composer? Hyphenated name. Go ahead, Katie.
Saint-Saëns?
You're right. Saint-Saëns is right for 10 points, yes. Now, teams, let's try something in the area of geography for a change. These are all open. It's a bay. This is a bay at the mouth of a river between Maine and New Brunswick. We want you to, Kevin. No, this is yours, British Columbia. Wait, Tony, it's coming to you. We name the inlet of the Bay of Fundy, whose name begins with the 16th letter of the alphabet. An inlet of the Bay of Fundy, Tony. Any idea? The answer is Passamaquoddy Bay. At the mouth of which river is Passamaquoddy Bay? That's the next question. You know, Kevin?
Chicanecto?
No, it is not. British Columbia, do you know? The answer is, all right, Tony.
Passamaquoddy
It is
River.
the St. Croix. The St. Croix. A project in Passamaquoddy Bay begun by, yes, Tony?
Passamaquoddy Tidal Project?
That's not bad. It's pretty good. Yes, the harnessing of the bay's waves for hydroelectric power. Good for you. Last part of this question. We can't say goodbye to it, of course, without asking somebody to spell Passamaquoddy. Who can do that, Tony?
P-A-S-A-M-O-Q-U-D-Y. D-D-Y.
That will not do it, Tony. Do you know, please, Mario?
P-A-S-S-A-M-A-Q-U-O-I-D-Y.
No, it is P-A-S-S-A-M-A-Q-U-O-D-D-Y. Nice try in any event. Here's another open question. Some of the world's greatest composers, writers, and painters seem to get better as they grew a lot older. For example, the men we're asking you to name each accomplished something special after they entered their 80s. Here are the descriptions of those people. First of all, an Italian composer who composed the music for Ave Maria when he was 85. His first name was Giuseppe. Who is it, Claudia? It is not, no. Who is it, please, Mario?
Verdi.
Verdi is right, yes. This outstanding English poet in his younger years wrote many superb works. His lyric poetry embodied, Gordon.
Wordsworth?
No, his lyric poetry embodied Victorian concerns and a moral outlook. He was 80 when he penned Crossing the Bar. Who are we talking about here? You know, B.C. Tony.
Rupert Brooke?
No, it was Alfred Lord Tennyson. Then there was the Italian painter of the Venetian school. His paintings are characterized by the lush use of color. One of the supreme masters of the late Renaissance. He lived to be 99. Who's that, Claudia? Pardon?
Titian?
That's fine. Very good. Yes, Titian is right. This man completed one of his major works when he was 80. It was his masterpiece in two parts. He was the German poet, dramatist, and novelist, and philosopher. Who is it we're talking about, Jim?
Goethe?
That is right. Wolfgang Goethe. Yes, that's correct. Here's a question now that gets us into the area of a team effort. Here's the scramble for it for 45 points. What is the proper name? The proper name used to describe the method of producing vocal sounds so they seem to originate in a source other than the speaker, Mario?
Ventriloquism.
You have it right. Ventriloquism is right. Yes, sure. All right, Prince Edward Island. That's the second part of this question. Second part for you, P.E.I. What was the name of the ventriloquist who created the popular radio personality known as Charlie McCarthy? Who is that, Gordon?
Edgar Bergen?
That's correct, yes. Who is the talented ventriloquist whose characters are Lamb Chop and Charlie Horse? Who's that, Gordon?
Sherry Lewis?
Yes. What Canadian performer's voice is the one associated with Jerome the Giraffe on television's Friendly Giant show? Who's the Canadian performer who gives that voice? Do you know? The answer to that is Rod Conybeare. And Mr. Conybeare's voice is also associated with the rooster on the same children's show. Yes, Mario?
Rusty.
That's the name of the rooster. That's quite right, yes. Glad to know that your taste in television programs is improving, Mario. That's good to know. Back to the more serious subjects now. This is an open math question worth 40 points. Plane transformations are important tools of mathematicians, as you know. Reflections are examples of plane transformations. Find the reflection image of the point 2, 3 in each of these cases. And, yes, Mario?
Negative 2, 3.
No, that's it. Not it. What's the reflection image of the point 2, 3 about the x-axis? That's the first question. Tony?
3, 2.
Not right. 2 minus 3. Try this. About the y-axis this time. Tony?
Minus 2, 3.
You're right. Yes. About the origin. Anyone on either team? Tony?
3, 2.
That won't do it. No, do you know, Mario?
Minus 2, minus 3.
That is more like it, yes. And here is the last about the line y equals x. Yes, Steve Reese?
3, 2.
You're right. Good for 10 points there, yes. All right, this is the one-on-one assigned question coming up now, teams. This is where you compete exclusively with your opposite number on the other team. All of the questions you give should contain the letters EX. Hear that? EX. Somewhere in the word that you give, either the first two letters at the word's beginning or the last two at the end. But watch for EX. Tony and Kevin, we start off with you. First, we want the name for an internal revenue tax. What is it called? Yes, Tony.
Exemption?
Not right. Do you know what it is, Kevin, please, the word we're after? The answer is excise. Try this. The word to describe a whirlpool. What is that? Yes, Tony.
Exercise pool.
Not right, no. Go ahead, Kevin, do you know? It is a vortex. All right, try this, Jim and Gord. When you're extremely irritated, you're said to be what? Yes, Jim.
Exasperated?
Correct, that's the answer. In a book, it's a list of references. What's the list of references? Jim or Gordon, do you know? The answer is the index. Let's go to Steve and Mario this time. You don't breathe in, you breathe out. Go ahead, Mario.
Exhale.
That's correct. When it's not simple, it's said to be what, Mario?
Complex.
That's correct, yes. Claudia and Katie, to carry something through to the finish means to what? Carry it through to the finish. You, what? Either one of you know? The answer is execute something. All right, this is the last one. A short word that simply means to annoy. You annoy somebody, you, what, Katie?
Exasperated.
Not right, no. In this case, do you know what it is, Claudia? The word is short. It's vex, V-E-X. Well, that ends the assigned question. I hope you enjoyed those. Now it's nearly time for us to take a break. And before we do, we're going to give you your special list question this afternoon. Republican President Ronald Reagan assumed the presidency of the United States last January, as you know. We want you to name in any order the 9 previous Republican presidents since 1900. So you'll get 5 points for each one that you get right. And while you go to work on those, we're going to take a brief break. We'll be back with you right after these important messages. Stay with us, please. Let's get the answer now to the list question. Ronald Reagan assumed the presidency in January. Name in any order the 9 previous Republican presidents since 1900. Claudia Heinrich, list yours, please.
Nixon, Eisenhower, Hoover, Coolidge, McKinley, and Wilson.
And that's all you have. All right, Gordon, can we have your list, please?
Ford, Nixon, Johnson, Taft, Harding, McKinley, Eisenhower, Wilson, and Cleveland.
Well, the answer, the complete answer is William McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, William Taft, Warren Harding, Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, Dwight Eisenhower, Richard Nixon, and Gerald Ford. Paul Russell, how many points do you have for P.E.I., please?
P.E.I. is 25 points.
25, and for British Columbia?
The same, 25 points.
25 points for both teams, all right? That takes care of the list question. And before we get on with more questions and answers, let's go to our chief adjudicator, Bernie Melman. Are there any adjustments to make, Bernie, at this point?
No, Bill, the score stands.
Score stands, does it? At Prince Edward Island, 140, and British Columbia 175. Let's start this next round with some short snappers teams. Outside of which Hollywood theater is it a tradition for stars? Go ahead, Tony.
Mann's Hollywood Theater?
That's not right. Outside of the theater to leave the footprints in a wet cement, Mario.
Chinese theater?
But it's a specific Chinese theater, and neither of you got it.
Mann's, it's an alternate name.
Is Mann's an alternate name? Okay, I had Grauman's here. Sorry about that, but it's good to know. In the United States, what is the longest leg of horse racing's Triple Crown? That's what we want to know, Tony.
The Preakness?
Not right. You know what it is, please, Mario?
Kentucky Derby?
It is the Belmont Stakes. Cherry, plum, and pink are three types of what fish? Specific kind of fish. Do you know, Tony?
Cod?
No. What kind, Kevin?
Salmon.
They are salmon, that's right. With which 19th century conflict would you associate the EMS telegraph? EMS. Go ahead, Gord.
Crimean War?
Not right. Do you know what it is, British Columbia? The answer is yes,
Boer
Claudia.
War?
It is the Franco-Prussian War. Which country's army became the first to use military tanks in 1916? Which country, Tony?
The British?
That is correct, yes. Now your ears are going to go to work now. We want to combine your ears and your memory to see if you can earn some points. You're about to hear a series of 4 brief statements by someone whose voice should be familiar. At least I hope it is. 40 points if you can name her after you hear the first statement, and the points will diminish by 10 with each additional statement she makes. And she's going to tell us something you'll find very amusing. Whose voice is this? Listen.
As a gift on my mother's birthday, I sent her a beautiful talking bird.
Who's that, Gordon?
Phil Stiller?
That's not right. Do you know British Columbia? Any idea? Yes, Tony?
Lily Tomlin?
That's not right. Here she is again.
The next day I called her and said, Mom, did you like the bird? She said it was delicious.
Who is that? Do you know, Kevin?
Ruth Buzzy?
Not right. Do you know British Columbia? Any takers? All right, here she is again.
I said, Mom, you ate it? That was a very expensive bird. That bird spoke 5 languages.
Who is it, Gordon?
Bette Midler?
Not right. Who is it, British Columbia? Do you know? All right, the last clue, last chance.
Mom said, well, if it was so smart, why didn't it say something before I put it in the oven?
All right, who told the story? Anyone know on either team? Will you take a guess? No idea?
Lucille Ball?
Lucille Ball is right. Good for you, yes. 10 points for that, Claudia. Yes, indeed. Well, it pays to guess now and again, doesn't it, Claudia, huh? That's good for 10 points. All right, here's an art gallery question now. We want you this time to identify the artist who painted the marine scenes you're going to see. An American portrait painter created this. Who was it? Here we are, on your monitor. Whose work is that, Claudia?
Homer?
Not right, no. Prince Edward Island, anyone there, no? Well, that was the work of Thomas Akins. That was Max Schmidt in A Single Skull. All right, this is the work of a leading artist of the Neo-Impressionist movement. And whose work is this you see on the monitor now? Anyone on either team know? No idea? That was Paul Signac. He also wrote a book about his style of painting. And next we have the work of an English painter. See what you can do with this one for 10 points. Anyone on either team? Here is the picture. Who's the painter? Do you know, Mario?
Turner?
Yes, very good. Yes, Turner is right. One of the outstanding British artists. And here is the last in our series of 4 now. Who can capture this? Another United States artist. Whose work is this you see now? Any idea, Claudia?
Homer.
Yes, Winslow Homer is right. He began his career as an illustrator covering the Civil War. Now let's prepare to scramble for a 35-pointer. First 5 points coming right here. What name was given to the medieval form of chemistry? The name to discover a method. Yes, Tony?
Alchemy?
You have it right, Tony. Good for you, yes. A method whereby baser metals could be transformed into gold. That's quite right. Second part of this for the British Columbia team now. What special name was given to the imaginary substance that would supposedly convert metals into gold? Any idea, BC?
Philosopher's Stone?
That's correct. Good answer, Tony. That's it. The other major goal of the alchemist was to discover a magical substance called the elixir vitae. What great benefit to man would this elixir bring?
It brought immortality?
Fine. Very good. Yes. And here's the last part. One chemical element essential to the alchemist's trade was known as the stone that burns, or brimstone. To which element do these terms refer? You said sulfur, Tony? You're quite right. That is the answer. Well, teams, I hope you're ready now, British Columbia and P.E.I., to hear the Newfoundland question today, because here comes Dave McDonald.
Thank you, Bill. And we do indeed have a Newfoundland question for you. It's 4 parts. Here's the first one. What are the names of the French islands off the south coast of Newfoundland? Gordon, did you ring?
No.
Yes?
I did.
I'm sorry, Tony.
St. Pierre and Miquelon?
St. Pierre Miquelon is right for the points. There are 2 national parks in the province of Newfoundland, Tony.
Grosse Morne and Terra Nova.
Okay, Terra Nova is involved in the answer. Can't take it? We'll throw that question out and go on to the third part then. This is a name. Okay, go to P.E.I.
Grosse Morne and Blow Me Down?
No, the question was, what's the name of the other national park other than Ghost Moran? And it is Terra Nova. This name, Terra Nova, of course, means new land. But what's the language? What is the language? Yes, Gordon?
Latin.
Latin is right, for 10. If I were to proceed from the island portion of the province to the mainland portion, what strait? Yes, Kevin?
Strait of Belle Isle.
The Strait of Belle Isle is right, for 10. And, Bill, that's our Newfoundland question.
All right, thank you, Dave, very much. Well, I hope the teams have some good luck on this next question coming up, because prior to the start of today's game, both teams were offered a choice of topics for our category question, and here were the choices this time. We had United States history, rivers, animals, and Academy Award winners. And Jim Ward of BC, what did you choose for your team, please?
We chose Academy Award winners.
And how about Mario DiPercio? What did you choose for the PEI team?
U.S. history.
All right, now we're going to give you your questions, and let's go first of all to BC's Jim Ward. What French-born director won an Academy Award in the year 1942 for Mrs. Miniver, and again in 1959 for the epic film called Ben-Hur? And here's your question, Mario, for you and your teammates. What was the name of the political party formed in 1875, chiefly by Midwestern and Southern farmers, whose primary aim was the adoption of a national monetary policy based on bimetallism to promote currency expansion? That is your question. Okay, and while both teams go to work on those rather difficult